Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Vincent. I'm from Life Coach Rapid Results. I'm here with Paul. Paul's got a few things for me today.
I got some questions by you, Vince. Great to see you again. So today's video, reprogramming the mind and changing the way we feel. Come on, let us into the story. What happens? How do we do it?
So what I didn't realize is it's a very, very good question. Very good topic. This is.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize is we, in our mind, in my body, is my own personal chemist. Every thought and everything I say, there's an emotion attached to it. And I didn't know this. I didn't know there was emotion attached to every thought and everything I say. So a lot of my problems was created by my faulty programming.
So centers in your thinking, so to speak. Yeah, the way you feel. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. The way I think.
Yeah.
Affects how I feel.
Okay.
Because every thought, there's an emotion attached to it.
Yeah.
So if I'm constantly having negative thoughts like you're no good, you're rubbish, you're worthless, no one likes you, there's emotions attached to every one of them thoughts, which is then creating how I feel.
Yeah.
And if I don't feel good, I think, life is not too good because I'm not feeling good.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, some of the thoughts that you spoke out loud then, no doubt that they're going to be carrying negative emotions. Yeah. They're going to be carrying stress, worry, frightened, fear, anger, all them different kind of things. Yeah.
Attached to it, every thought and everything I say, there's an emotion attached to it.
Okay, yeah.
So what people get to, they get to a place where I like to call it, you can call it the mental bully or just faulty programming, where you've listened to a negative thought long enough and the mind believes it. It's called the believing brain. So if I think of something long enough or tell myself something long enough, the mind will believe it and it will become an habitual thought. It will just keep reoccurring, and one thought will trigger another negative thought, and next you know, over so many months of dwelling and thinking in these negative thoughts, I start to believe them, which then I create my own reality. So I can create my own reality by how I think and what I say to myself, and it creates how I feel as well, so it's important to realize that we can change them thoughts, and this is how we're going to change them thoughts.
So are you going to be giving us the tools in this video?
Now, hold on a minute. I'm going to give you the tools in this video, but I have to explain a few things first so you understand it properly.
Yeah.
Because there's no good me.
By the end of the video, we're going to get to know then, yeah?
Definitely.
Awesome, looking forward to it. Come, move on.
There's no good me doing it unless I explain it so you've got a bit of an understanding of it.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I've explained to you now about the negative thoughts. This is how we're going to overcome them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the power out of them first. And we take the power out of them by writing them down. Just write them down on paper, take the power out of them. And then when you write them down on paper, we want the opposite of the thought you've written down. So if I say, I'm worthless, I'm worth something. Nobody loves me, I love me. People do love me. And it's like, I work with some people in a bad place, like, nobody loves you. I haven't got a positive thought. And I'm just like, well, that's just what you think because you believe them negative thoughts for so long. You actually believe no one loves you. Yet you've got children in your life. You've got a pet. And they're like, oh, no, my children don't phone me. Well, could it be the case that your children don't phone you because they don't want to bother you? Mm-hmm. And really, they love you to bits. They love you that much that they're not phoning you to bother you. Didn't see that before. It's also all about opening up and seeing these things. The people you speak to in the playground, when you take the kids to school, they care about you. And the only thing that's stopping you actually feeling that is because when you've lived in these negative thoughts and felt these negative emotions, you put out a negative vibe, which sort of stops that love being shown in the way it should do. So we create our own personal reality by just living in them thoughts and the things we say to ourselves. So we need to change it. So we write it all down on paper, take the power out of it. Then we get the opposite thoughts. I am loved. I'm no good. I am good. I'm worthless. I'm not worthless. I'm worth something. Yeah. So we just keep challenging them thoughts like that.
And you're doing this by writing it down, Vince.
By writing it down. So we've got the opposite affirmations. Yeah. So we've got the negative affirmations and then we got the positive ones. And the reason being why it's so important to write stuff down, because any anger, fear, or resentment, if I write it down on paper, it takes the power out of it. And if I can take the power out of it, it takes the energy out of the thought. So thought is still there, but the power is taken out of it. And if I don't take the power out of it, that thought can go over and over in my head. It's like a movie. I'm playing, fast forward, rewinding. Something bothers me in a day. Someone said something to me. I'm playing that incident in a movie. I should have said this. I should have done this. This shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have said that. And I'm just creating then with everything I attach to that situation. I'm fast forward and rewinding that tape. I'm saying the things I should have said and should have done. I'm creating just a world of pain. So when I write it down and take the power out of it, that thought it leaves me a lot easier. It doesn't gather a momentum. It's like the snowball effect. Otherwise, it just gets louder, louder, louder. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it just consumes my whole mind. So by writing this stuff down, takes the power out of it. And when I got the opposite, when I write down any anger, fear, and resentment, I can stay a bit more emotionally stable through the day. But when I write down the negative thoughts, I write down the opposite affirmations. So anytime then I get, I'm no good, I say out loud, I am good. I am worth something. I am loved. I am cared for. And I just keep chipping away. So the thought will come, you're no good. I am good. I am loved. Or nobody loves you. I am loved. Nobody cares about you. People do care about me. And I keep voicing this out loud. And why must I voice it out loud? Is because my own personal thoughts cannot access my subconscious mind. So by voicing out stuff out loud, it can access the part of my mind which I cannot access through thought alone. Yeah, so I'm actually talking to my subconscious programming, and I'm starting to replace that old program with a new program. And if I say this stuff long enough, I will start to believe it. And that's the thing. Can you imagine a life where that old mental bully is gone, has told you you're no good, you're worthless, no one likes you, you're not loved? Can you imagine that going and having a new program saying, you are loved, we love you, everything's going to be okay, everything's going to be fine, don't need to worry. Imagine having that program. Imagine what that could do and how much that could transform your life. And how do we do this? How do we do this? It sounds so simple, but it is simple. We just keep saying the opposite affirmations. We write stuff down that bothers us to take the power out of it. And we keep chipping away at the hardwiring. And what also gives us a big boost is we get postage notes. And we write on them positive affirmations. I put one on the door, one on the fridge, one on the remote. I put reminders on my phone. And every time I open the door, every time I pick up the remote, every time I open the window, I just read the positive affirmation out loud. I am loved. I am cared for. People do care about me. Everything's going to be okay. I've got a bright future. Yeah, and I just keep doing this, and I persevere with it. How long for? 66 days. 66 days, it will become a habit. It will become an habitual program, which I would have replaced the old programming, would be replaced with a new programming. But it's not easy. It's something I have to really persevere with. I really have to push myself to keep on top of it and persevere with it. And it's not till I look back and I see that I'll be able to see the changes, and how I'm going to feel from replacing that program is going to not only put out a different energy, I'll attract a different energy, it'll transform my life, and there's many other benefits to it. It can really take away the stress, the anxieties, the worries, which is all created from the mind. It's all agitation from the mind. And this is where that believing brain is working against, is not working in our favor. And by putting that positive program in it and changing that program, we can get the mind to believe that and work in our favor, which then will have a massive impact on our whole life. We'll have people coming into our life, things will start happening, things will start changing, and it's all from changing this. See, I always tried to change the world and everything in it. And what I didn't realize is if I change the way I think, the world and everything in it changes. And that's the power of this, my own personal reality creates my reality. And that's the key to this stuff. If I change how I think, I change the world around me. I put off a different energy, a different frequency, which attracts different things and different frequencies, which transforms and shows up in my life, and that's the power of this stuff. So is there any other questions, Paul?
I think you really covered everything there, Vince. I know we had a brief chat before we done the video, and that's I think that covers it all. There is one more question. So if with regards to the followers and this that, yeah, how does any viewers today, listeners, kind of thing, follow you if they enjoyed this video and they want to hear more? Where can they access more?
Yeah, so if you press the subscribe, it's totally free. Please subscribe to my channel. Please share and get this video out there. There's going to be other videos I'm going to be covering. This is just the beginning of starting to reprogram the mind and changing how people feel, which is really important. This is the basic, this is the baseline. And in the next video, I'll go one step deeper and one step deeper until I teach you how to have a completely new program within your mind, which will totally transform your relationships, your life, your work life, everything. It will transform everything, and it's so simple. It's so simple. My head says to me, it's not going to work. Don't need to try it. It's not going to work. But that's always been the problem. The problem is centered always in my thinking. Someone's got a good life today and someone's trying to show me something and I say it's not going to work. That's where my problem centers in the way I think. And when I look back on my life, I see that my thinking has gone away. I've gotten away of me having a good life, because anyone that's tried to show me something positive, I've already written it off, going, it's not going to work, so I'm not even going to try it, which is really is in itself is a form of insanity. Contempt prior to investigation is a form of insanity. I cannot predict how something's going to work if I've never tried it. So it'd be good to remember that. Thank you for joining me today, and I wish you well. You take care.